Chapter 4 Traveling Companions. By morning, the storm had passed, taking the clouds and lightning with it. Valora opened her eyes, remembering the events of the day and night before. She had actually won, the prize of the tournament, and today she would head back home with her prize. She sat up in the small bed, swinging her bare legs over the edge as she stood, stretching her arms before letting them fall to her sides. She walked to the pile on the floor that was her clothes and pulled on the tunic and pants over her body before replacing her armor. Well, it's been fun, but I need to get back home. She spoke softly to no one but herself as she slung her bag over her shoulder. Leaving the room, she took one last look behind her, seeing the window still wet from last night's shower. That meant it probably was muddy outside, but oh well. She shrugged, opening the door and entering the hallway. The door swung shut with no effort as she walked down the hall and down the stairs to the tavern. A large crowd had gathered around the bar, and most of the tables were filled as the inn's patrons ordered breakfast. She found the one empty stool at the bar and squeezed in between the two men who she thought had left their armor upstairs as they were wearing plain clothes. Must be off-duty soldiers, she thought. Morning, beautiful. The one on her left smiled, looking down to her. Good morning. She returned a smile before looking around for someone to take her order. If you're looking for Natty, she's off in the mornings. She shook her head. Oh, I wasn't. I just wanted to order breakfast. Yeah, it's a challenge this time of day. He chuckled. You have to take charge. He held his hand up, stopping a woman who just happened to have an empty tray, having just served a patron his meal. Hey, lady, the champion hasn't had her breakfast yet. Valora blushed at this, not wanting to cause any trouble. Did everyone here know who she was? Oh, sorry. What can I get you, miss? The woman smiled. Just 2 scrambled eggs, some toast, and a big cup of coffee. Black. She wasn't quite awake yet. Okay, it'll be right out. She went back to the kitchen, shouting orders at the cook, who spat back profanities and that he knew how to do his damn job. Valor relaxed into her seat. Thanks. No problem. But for the champion, you sure are a timid little thing. He smiled, still between bites of whatever meat that was on his plate. I just don't want to cause any trouble this early in the morning. People see someone getting free food and want to make something about it. Of it. Start a fight. Yeah, that's true. He shook his head. Stupid people. To want to challenge the champion. He took another bite. She looked around the room and soon spotted the man from the arena sitting at the same table with the same group of men that they all ate with the table manners of a bunch of pigs at a slop trough. She shook her head and turned back to the bar. You know anything about that giant back there? She motioned back towards the table. The man glanced back. Him? He's almost Pharaoh on the field. Why, you go against him? The last battle. And I won. She couldn't help but smile. He thought I was a man. I can't blame him, though, because I've had my helmet on, which hides my face. At this, he laughed boisterously. Even with your face hidden, I can tell you're a woman. Those hips don't lie, beautiful. He winked, taking a sip of coffee. You took him down? You deserve every bit of that money, prize money then. She looked up to him. Do you know his name? Sager. He's one of the tribe of nomads that live around the outskirts of this place. But I think he's been banished or something, because he's been staying for a while now. He fought well, but he's kind of slow. He had me on my back in the arena, and I screamed that someone was behind him with a knife. He bought it, and I got out from under him and got my blade to his chest. He surrendered, but reluctantly. He's also a bit sexist, it seems, because when it came out that I'm a woman, he said women weren't allowed to fight in the arena and that I should be disqualified. The king told him to be silent, and then he left. I think he might still be angry about that. She frowned as her food finally arrived. Oh, thank you. You're welcome, miss, and as always, on the house for the champion. She started to eat, looking down at the plate. Hey, don't get so down. If he is still pissed, then let him be that way. The man still smiled. He's probably just mad he got bested by a woman about third his size. That could add to it. That and the loss of so much money. She took a sip from her mug. Whoa, that's some strong coffee. Yeah, you gotta think. They cook mostly for soldiers, and we need it that strong to keep watch around town. You're lucky she didn't spike it out of habit. Yeah, I guess. She kept eating, wanting to finish the plate before it got cold. After the food was gone and the coffee drained for the third time, she slid off the seat, leaving a 5 gold note for the barmaid who served her. She went towards the door, noticing the behemoth wasn't at the table anymore. Where could he have gotten off to? He was impossible to miss, being the tallest human there. Garuth might have been taller, but she wasn't sure. Then she saw him, standing not by the door, but in front of it, massive arms crossed over his chest, sword and shield on his back. You're not leaving until I get some answers. His voice was low, almost a growl. She glared, but then sighed, her expression lightening. What do you want, Neanderthal? First, who trained you to fight like that? He kept his place, glaring down at her. My mother and my sister. Why? Just curious. Have a seat. He motioned to a now empty table. It had been full when she had first come down, but was now cleared and ready for the next patrons. She relented and sat down. He took the chair across from her, his weight making it creak horribly, as if to say he weighed a bit more. And it might break under him. Do all women of your tribe train to fight? Fight, hunt, track? She lifted off. You're a nomad, aren't you? Don't your women train the same way? No, our women are gatherers. They forage and do things like sew, weave, and cook. We do those things too, but when it comes to it, we can protect ourselves. That is the difference between our tribes, I guess. His arms were still crossed. Yeah, I guess. Can I leave now? I have somewhere to be. She rose from her seat. Not yet. One more thing. You mind if I go back to your village with you? I'd like to see the woman who trained you to be the one warrior to take me on and win. A hint of a smile crossed his battle-scarred face. That, and I want a rematch. What you did back there was dirty. He frowned deeply. Now, why would I do either of those things? She asked flatly. You're less likely to be robbed at knife point if you have someone like me. He laughed. Bunch of cowards. And the rematch? Because it's a question of your honor. After some thought, she decided he was right. If everyone knew who she was, they also knew she had money. And the money could be taken by force if necessary. If he was with her, the thieves were less likely to show their faces. Alright. But I'm leaving now, so if you have something in a room somewhere, grab it now. And as for the rematch, perhaps when we reach my village, you can meet my mother and sister and fight me in front of them. We have a deal. I'll be back. Gotta grab my bag. I'll be here. She leaned into the chair, still wondering why she's letting him come with her. Oh well, if he proved to be a nuisance, she could lose him in the forest. She could climb trees and doubted that he could do the same. Hey! Another man's voice shouted over the noise of the crowd. Valora looked for the source. She didn't have to look very far as the man came to her table, inviting himself to sit down. You're the champion, right? Yes, why? She raised an eyebrow, still leaning into her chair. Then I've got a deal for you, he smiled. I sell horses for a living, see? All right, and? But one's a little, He tilted his head. Unruly. Perhaps it's because it has yet to be properly broken and is still wild. Yeah, we tried breaking him. Not gonna happen. Too much spirit in him. So why not let him free? Well, if I did that, I would lose all the money I spent trying to break him. Unsuccessfully, she reminded him flatly. Yeah, but I'm thinking that maybe I just haven't tried the right person. Tell you what, if you can get on him without him trying to kill you, you can have him for 50 gold. Saddle and all included. Where is this beast of a horse? At my stables with the rest of them. He's got his own stall, 'cause he don't get along with the others. Alright, I'm waiting for my friend right now. We're about to head out of town. A horse will be faster than walking. I'll go look when he comes back downstairs. Sounds great. I'll get him saddled up for you. The man left the table, heading out of the tavern. If the horse was still wild, maybe she could try to tame it. She was an elf of the forest, after all. Taming wild beasts was in her blood. Sager came back, his bag slung over her shoulder, much like her own. Ready when you are. Let's go. I might be getting a horse. That is if you feel like walking along with one. Whatever you want, princess, he smirked. She groaned. Don't call me that. She left her seat, going toward the door, followed by Sager, after he had paid his rather large tab. The sun was bright and doing its best to dry out the muddled dirt roads of the town. The stables were just a few buildings away from the tavern. Valora looked around to see most of the places here either businesses or much smaller homes built of wood and stone. They soon found the stables, following the sound of whinnying and the occasional snort. As they approached, she could see the man she had spoken to leading a black horse with a white mane and tall out of the barn, much to the animal's protest. Looks like he saw a snake, Sager frowned. Or he's got a poor trainer. I guess the latter. She walked up to the fence surrounding the corral and opened the gate. No, not yet, woman. The man held out a hand. He will run. She stopped, looking to his face. Then let him. He's wild. She came through the gate, shutting it firmly behind her. Is this him? Yeah. He fought for control over the reins as his feet went to his back legs. This is Nightmare. That's a terrible name for a horse. She scowled, walking towards them. She dug through her bag, reaching for their food rations and pulling out a small red apple. She stepped in front of the horse, holding out her hand. Here, you hungry? The horse went back to all fours, looking to the elven woman with narrowing eyes before slowly taking the offering.